Normally, I agree with most what Dan Bongino says, but this time, dude, I gotta call you out.
Is Joe Biden the worst president in U.S. history? Of course. And listen, I'm not just asking.
He's not president. Presidents get elected.
Conservatives who probably agree with me. I'm asking the libs watching too. Yeah, it's easy to point out his endless stream of ridiculous gaffes, his word salads, and his non sequiturs like these.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. We made incredible progress on the economy.
By the way, that's not the real Joe Biden, Dan. Take a good picture look at him in 2018 versus him now. It's not the same dude.
Every day I post on social media, Joe Biden's the worst president in U.S. history. I'm not just wasting your time. I do it because I believe it's true. The man has zero political instincts and definitely doesn't have the political instincts needed to succeed as president of the United States.
Makes you wonder why Obama chose him as his running mate, doesn't it? And I believe it was Oman's quote that was, never underestimate Joe Biden's ability to fuck shit up. You know, why would, that, you gotta ask yourself that question, Dan.
Example, despite our open border crisis, you're all watching on TV, right? The Biden administration quietly amended the language of its immigration policy to make it easier for some Afghan nationals to enter the country, even if they have ties to terrorists. Wait, what? You don't believe me? Read for yourself. You see it right there from the Department of Homeland Security, saying the new exemptions may apply to the following, quote, individuals who provided insignificant or certain limited material support to a designated terrorist organization. Don't worry, folks. No big deal. As long as you only provided limited terrorist support, you're A-okay. No sweat. Come on in. It's hard to believe this is even being considered by the president.
Really? It's that hard to believe, Dan? Follow the money trail, dude. Come on. You're FBI agent, I believe. I know you're a Secret Service agent, and you're with the police, so you should know how to follow leads. Follow the evidence, dude. And best way to do that is follow the money. I know you know this, Dan.
But in case you missed that one, here's another example of this man's genuinely awful political instincts, the worst I have ever seen. Remember how Joe dipped into our strategic oil reserves to try to help bring down the price of gas we've been forced to pay for months? Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, take a look at this. More than 5 million barrels of those reserves were reportedly exported to Europe. And get this, even some to China. You got to be saying to yourself, this is clearly a mistake. Nobody's this dumb. No, it's not. Now Fox News has learned that Biden had the ability to stop the reserves from being exported, but he didn't do it because he has the worst political instincts you've ever seen.
It ain't that,
making matters worse, again, hard to believe. There's reportedly a Hunter Biden business connection to the Chinese energy firm.
Reportedly?
You can't make it up.
Reportedly, dude, it's been confirmed. The laptop from hell. I mean, the evidence is right there, man.
You can't make this stuff up, folks. Listen, forget about Biden being president for a moment. These moronic decisions just don't square with basic logic, all right? Anyone who's a president can figure out those are stupid things to do. Letting migrants with known terrorist ties into the country, exporting our strategic oil reserves to China, our nuclear-powered enemy, as we pay record prices in the U.S. What kind of an idiot does that? For a guy who was called Lunch Bucket Joe, he sure seems to make a lot of dopey decisions that make actual blue-collar workers who carry lunch buckets say, you know what? That's probably not a good idea. I've covered this in the past. It really makes me wonder if this is all on purpose. We're 15 months into the...
Dude, it is on purpose. All right? Starting to connect the dots, dude, because, most of the people I roast, it's because they're as dumb as a post, but dude, you're not a stupid individual, okay? you might want to put on the tinfoil hat and dig deeper down the rabbit hole, because I know you're more than capable of doing that.
The administration and Joe Biden simply couldn't be doing any worse. Unless, of course, he was trying to screw up the country on purpose. Thankfully, I'm wearing a different jacket for this show. Listen, but none of this is new. Here's what's happening, folks. When liberals do liberal things, really bad things happen because liberalism sucks. It's because liberalism won't work because it can't work. And when liberals are given power, they're going to abuse it. And we see the results of their actions and inaction all around us. But what about when liberal ideas fail? As in, like, every single time they've tried them, it's a forest fire, liberalism. And then liberals are forced to.
Really? What about when conservatives fail, Dan? Like the Southern strategy? Remember that? Or what about the Bushes? Now, come on, dude. All right, you're so one-sided politically that you can't see, the mistakes of your own side. All right? Stop. It's not about liberals versus conservatives, dude. You should, get past your political bias. It's like a blame block for you.
To enact conservative ideas because they may have some political instincts, right? Smart politicians, I'm not judging their character or anything like that. Don't send me nasty emails or anything. Smart politicians, though, make this pivot, especially the liberal ones, because they have political instincts. Again, I'm not vouching for them. I'm just saying, remember when Bill Clinton did it?
We know big government does not have all the answers. We know there's not a program for every problem. We know, and we have worked to give the American people a smaller, less bureaucratic government in Washington. And we have to give the American people one that lives within its means.
I did not inhale this Lewinsky.
The era of big government is over.
Imagine a Democrat saying that now, you'd be kicked out of the party. I'm not a fan of him.
Dude, Dan, Clinton was double speaking, okay? The era of big government was certainly not over under his watch. Oh, but who came in right after him? W, who expanded the fuck out of the government, especially the surveillance state. So, oh, geez.
But it's called political instincts. Even he was smart enough to know he had to do some semi-conservative things because conservative policies work, even when liberals do them. And despite all his scandals, Clinton left office with an approval rating higher than 60%. Biden's total, complete lack of political instincts is why his approval is currently stuck below 40 and plunging. But there's a flip side to all.
The better question you should ask is, why is Bill Clinton wearing a yarmulke in that picture? Actually, no. Ben Shapiro should be the one to ask that question.
This. When conservatives do liberal things, bad things happen as well. Case in point, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson resigned this week as head of the party after pushing lockdowns during COVID, catering to the Green Energy Brigade. Wait, wasn't he supposed to be the conservative solution in Britain after Brexit?
You mean the same way Bill Clinton voted down gay marriage? Come on, man.
Remember this from the Wall Street Journal? The rise and fall of Boris Johnson. He campaigned from the right, but governed from the left. Voters noticed. Yeah, a lot of people noticed. Why isn't that a job suit? You see, the same is true with liberal policies. It doesn't matter who does them. It always ends.
Dan, it has nothing to do with liberal or conservative. It's globalist policies. All right. I mean, think back, because you're about the same age as I am, dude. So you got to think back and realize that it's a uniparty, okay? It's like the scene from Moon Over Parador, the voting scene. You can vote for the red picture of the dictator or the blue picture of the dictator. It's, now come on, dude. You're down in the snake pit. You've seen this shit firsthand. You know what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. Stop playing dumb, because I know you're not.
badly. It's a lesson a lot of Republicans are still learning. Take Liz Cheney of Wyoming. NBC reports Cheney's January 6th committee spotlight burns her in the Wyoming primary.
Yeah, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree with her. You know, if you're going to bring up Liz Cheney, you know, her father is a fucking traitor, just like the majority of people we've had in high office for the past, let me see, 150 years?
Abuse power, these things happen. See, it's not about the politician. It's about holding to some principles and policies that actually work. Conservative policies win every time. Look no further than what's happening in Florida.
Yeah, dude, like the Southern strategy was such a huge success for Republicans. It's the reason why the majority of my generation, our generation, you know, went screaming away from Republicans, you know, like bats out of hell because of the shit that went down with, you know, Reagan's second term, especially, and Bush 41. And then, you know, Clinton, who was basically, you know, when I was different, we all considered him a dino. Okay. And then you had W. So don't tell me it's a balance between liberal fuck ups versus conservative fuck ups, dude, because it's not. It's intentional. It always has been. It's been a uniparty up until 2016. All right. Then it became patriots versus globalists, not necessarily liberals versus conservatives. There is a fundamental difference, Dan. I know you're smart enough to figure this shit out.
Conservative, Ron DeSantis, does conservative things. Conservatives and Americans win. See it right there, folks.
Yeah, starting in 2016, dude. You know, the biggest mistake that the Republicans made was getting in bed with the Christian Reich. All right. That, you know, it's coming back full circle. Okay. People, you know, ran to the Democrats because of that. And now, because of all this, you know, fucktardedness that's going on, people are running back the other direction. It's a political swing. All right. It doesn't mean that one side is always good, one side is always bad. All right.
All you have to do is follow the footsteps. Americans are leaving.
All you have to do is follow the money, Dan.
Blue states like California and New York and evacuating to red states like Texas and Florida in droves. But the opposite's not happening. Dude, the truth is Joe Biden and his entire failed administration.
You remember the early 90s, Dan? I'd say both of us were probably in high school at that time, where people were flocking to Seattle and, you know, other places on the left coast. Remember that? All right. Now, unless you're getting early onset Alzheimer's, which I don't think you are, because, like I said, about the same age, you're just blinded by your political bias.
Administration, they're just not smart enough to understand how bad their policies are, even for their own party. They have no political instincts.
It's not about that, dude. It's being done intentionally. All right. You know, the 16-year plan, okay? Trump kind of disrupted that and forced the globalists to reveal their agenda, forced them to speed it up. Okay, you need to dig further down the rabbit hole, dude.
He did everything the left asked of him. He went after fossil fuels, the Supreme Court, freedom in the pandemic. The Wall Street Journal said this: the Democrats and media who pushed his agenda are now blaming the president for a failure. It was their agenda too. So is it any wonder Americans have historically low confidence in the presidency? The proof of conservative values and policies is out in the real world.
Really, dude? I'm a liberal Republican. How does that balance out in your political equation? Yeah. Here's the thing, man, is XDs are probably the Republicans' greatest allies right now. And by lumping in all quote unquote liberals as idiots and lunatics, you're pushing away what could be potentially one of your greatest fan bases, let alone your greatest political ally. All right. You need to pull your head out of the swamp.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, folks.